mother with 4 daughters. And yesterday, we voted to not give them autonomy over their own bodies. I'm going to share a story with you, and I'm not going to tell you how to feel about it. I'm just going to encourage you to take this journey with me. When a 16-year-old boy tells you that he loves you through your childhood trauma, you listen. When he strokes your hair like your mother used to, holds you like your father is probably holding someone else's kid, and tells you that he will sweep up the abandoned pieces of your young girl heart, you believe him. When he says things like, I love you, you're mine forever, or let's have a baby, you are so blinded by the exaggerated image of 2 old parents and 1 cherry-cheeked baby that you make it all up in your head. You lie down, make your teenage idea of love in a child that you can't support. And that's just what we did. He's 16, me 15, neither of us with enough life sense in our heads to understand that babies need more than diapers and Fantasia. We did it. We had sex. Not awkward teenage slop that ended in mono or love braces. This was unadulterated.
Yeah.
Give it up for teenage sex. Our eyes were locked the entire time. The kind of stare that made me imagine my face getting stuck. His body natural like the truth, the way it fit into mine. Afterwards, he held me under the wing of his left arm, his heart beating through his damp skin. Reaching down with his right hand, he rubbed my belly and said, that's my baby in there, right? My baby's gonna have my baby. I smiled shyly and pushed the consequences to a dusty corner of my mind. Love robbed me of my inhibitions. He loved me, all right? Right up until light pink lines became a pooch and a perfect 10 body. And how quickly I love yous became, you're trying to trap me. Became, get an abortion or I'm gonna fucking break up with you. And ain't it crazy how the same love that makes you light as a feather leaves you stiff as a board? Religion taught me that abortion was murder. My boyfriend tried to tell me that love was murder. I lied to my mom and told her that this happened on the first time we had sex, or it was the result of that assault, or anything else I pinned to a desperate sport. What I was most desperate for was the $300 abortion that could save my relationship. Because this decision came with a string of lifelong consequences, my mother hooked me up with 2 friends who had their own abortion stories to sway me. Her first friend called me and detailed the physical pain and emotional trauma that came with her surgery. She meticulously detailed the feeling of having another living being ripped from her womb by a high-powered vacuum and sucked into a mayonnaise jar. She believed that she was cursed with the inability to have children as a punishment for murder. My mother's second friend phoned me and said so matter-of-factly, began the conversation by telling me that she'd had 9 abortions and would do it again in a heartbeat because she couldn't stand babies. I very respectfully hit the mute button before telling her what a fucking asshole she was. The Saturday morning that my mom took me to the reproductive clinic, I was met by neon yellow signs that proclaimed me a murderer. I was ushered inside with a jacket over my head like hiding from paparazzi. My boyfriend dropped by with a car full of his homeboys, wished me luck, and he was out. I sat petrified in a lobby full of girls my age for hours, waiting for my name to be called. Looking around, I saw matter-of-fact faces, smiles, laughs, a counter-universe. I found the one girl across the room who felt my sadness. Her hazel eyes met mine, and we both began a cascade of tears. We reminded one another in that moment, without speaking a word, that this was the final few moments we would hold our unborn children this close. My name was called. I walked in between the sterile white walls of a procedure room. Everything was cold. Cold room, cold gel, cold speculum slid between my labia. When I cried uncontrollably during the procedure, the cold doctor stopped and threatened that if I didn't stop all that crying, he would remove the laughing gas and I would really feel the pain. But don't fuck that guy. What the cold bastard did not realize is that laughing gas does not remove the pain of guilt anyway. The guilt almost ate me alive. 26 years later, and I still feel it creeping up my spine when I watch my three daughters, laugh, talk shit to each other because that's what sisters do. The other day I drove by the abortion clinic where I had my first baby all those years ago. Oh, the irony. The reproductive health signs are all gone, replaced by 3 iron crosses and a sign that says Jesus saves. What a great reminder that we all make heavy, senseless, serious, or awful choices in our life, but we are all forgiven. Oh yeah. And we should never trust teenage hormones, especially when they say, I love you.
I finally realized I don't want to be someone's forever love. I don't need that pressure. I need more. I need my purpose to be more. We've been taught to dream of fairy tales since little girls, dream of wedding days instead of life goals. But every fairy tale had a fair-skinned girl, a girl with blue eyes, had generational wealth, and castles as real estate. And I thought maybe all these fairy tales happened in lands far from me. But no matter the distance I went, those fairy tales were not real. And I failed at finding them every time, and I got married. And even then, I should have sat down and allowed anything and everything because that's what the goal was. Because these fairy tales didn't explain that then you have to be quiet, look the other way, and pretend nothing was falling apart. Yo no quiero ser el amor de tu vida, quiero ser el mío. I don't want to be the love of your life, I want to be mine. Study every crevice and corner within me, expose to myself what's the worst I can do, and kiss myself softly to heal from within. Dedicate the most beautiful of sunrises for my eyes to see. Yes, I'm that soul. I am that soul. I timed when sunset was at 2 years ago, 2 times in a year, for 2 different partners to see, and both humans still hurt me. Maybe that wasn't their thing. And I want to lay in bed on Sunday mornings when the sun peeks into my room and spend a good hour feeling my skin and the places where she curves as God intended her to do so, to be forgiving, to be kind to myself first, start a war between which finger touches what, and hear my breathing and fall more and more in love with myself. God says glory is in heaven, but I can promise you I find glory every morning within, because mi corazón es mío, but I won't place it in your hands to hold, because we've been taught in fairy tales we give our entire hearts and all, but all along I am to be my own. I'll share with you if I see fit, because heartbreak wasn't given to me by others, but by myself. My dad once told me he was happy I met someone new, but got sad knowing he'd probably have to pick up the pieces when I came back. My parents never learned self-love. Instead, he should have said he was sad I was about to go and break my own heart again. So, because of last night, I made a vow that I'm going to read this piece for the next 4 fucking years. This is my anti-love poem, my breakup poem, my Texas, it's not you, it's me poem. I was born here, my first steps were here. Texas, with 2.5 hours east, I find the ocean, and 2.5 hours south, I find roots, and I find roots. You have human places where chopped and screwed was birthed, and places where snow falls while having other cities with heat beyond 100 degrees. Texas, you're unlike any other state I've lived in. There are concrete things and notions I can't find anywhere else. Dad says everyone always comes back to you. However, we need to talk. Texas, you're the essence of an abusive relationship I keep going back and forth with. You have gaslighted, lied, cheated, raped, beat, abandoned, and manipulated me to your favor. You pretend to love parts of me like being proud to be yours, able to maneuver a shotgun, my hunting skills, and my inner glory of wanting to be a housewife again one day. But when my other pieces show up, the abuse begins. I no longer hold a voice. I am community property. My body does not mean my choice. I'm in a relationship with someone who feels that if I would have been pregnant from my continuous rape from 7 to 10, that other child would have had more say than I. But your thoughts on how to protect children mean nothing in contrast to protecting your guns. I'm with someone who forgot women birthed them. I learned how it is to be unwanted, unloved, and disregarded from you. You've lured and groomed me to become what you want. I am still the defensive 7-year-old girl raped and muted by men in the same manner you figuratively continue to do so. You walk in and out, break me in like your shoes. You have given me PTSD, fear, chills, and anxiety. Your love manipulates. And there's this pride of how Texas is its own country and you're mine. I asked my friends that left you if they're ever coming back. And I feel sorry when they say no. But now I'm embarrassed because how could I want them to come back to this when you beat me behind closed doors? This is the abusive love I've known with you. I used to scream my love for you, and now I'll just learn to keep it to myself. And though I will long for you, you will always long for others like Greg Abbott and Ted Cruz. Fuck Abbott, fuck Cruz. So it's not you, it's me. I finally seen you for your true colors that I'm done. You can keep all I've given you, my tears, cries, childhood, and my constant begging. You broke into my house, but you forgot it's my temple. And if I burn it down, you're coming with me if it's the last thing I do. So that one day, my daughter won't walk for your ways. It's not you, Texas. It's not gonna be me.
So I got 2 poems. One of which is new shit. Thank you. So I don't know if y'all know, but yesterday was an election. So this poem is called "I'll Stop Arguing on Facebook When Stupid Motherfuckers Stop Caping for Greg Abbott." I'm tired of motherfuckers.
Yeah!
Specifically dumb motherfuckers. Because dumb motherfuckers turn into loud motherfuckers, and loud motherfuckers bring everybody down. Sorry. Drunk motherfuckers. Allegedly. And loud motherfuckers bring everyone down. And stupid motherfuckers listen to loud motherfuckers. They follow a loud motherfucker off a cliff or into some dumb shit, and when life gets thick, a stupid motherfucker will have no explanation for what happened. A stupid motherfucker always spits out whatever dumb shit they heard a dumb motherfucker say. But notice, dumb motherfucker ain't stupid. They're dumb, but they are inventive and intrepid on their dumb shit. They trailblaze and conquer new lands to plant a flag on the summit of some dumb shit, bringing all these stupid motherfuckers with them, and then want a cookie for their efforts. And see, dumb motherfuckers will always blame the wrong motherfucking things for their failures, but for all their excuses, they never have facts, correct statistics, or the truth. Greg Abbott is a dumb motherfucker. Ted Cruz is a dumb motherfucker. Donald Trump is a dumb motherfucker.
Say your shit.
But remember, stupid motherfuckers follow dumb motherfuckers. And that's why stupid motherfuckers want to deport hard-working motherfuckers. Shit on creative motherfuckers for basic motherfuckers. Uplift hate-filled motherfuckers and underpaid lady motherfuckers for no motherfucking reasons.
And Thanos-instilled motherfuckers too.
That's right,
That
yo.
misogynist hates women, yo. Always says come back to me.
So all these stupid motherfuckers grow up and become whack motherfuckers while dumb motherfuckers keep being loud motherfuckers. And I'm tired of all these motherfuckers in this motherfucking country. But we are tired. And these motherfuckers don't cease. We need new motherfuckers with a motherfucking dream. But loud motherfuckers make it hard to sleep, but it's almost 2023 and it's only getting louder. Thank you. So I had a rough week this week, so I'm gonna get very hood rat drunk tonight. This is a poem about that. A good hood rat friend will never let you apologize before you made a mistake first. They will tell you to save your sorrowful monopolies for when you really need them. A hood rat friend will tell you when love was your first mistake, when you should have kept your heart in a cage, when that bitch or bastard wasn't shit, help you find your lost puppy dog heart and return it home. A hood rat friend is a key bump when you really don't do cocaine. Some of y'all really relate. All right. The way cocaine halfway like this in this place. I'm just saying, San Antonio may have a problem. There are a round of shots bought before the bartender's last call round of shots. There are the penultimate, homie, to get you through the mess and the madness, homie. To take that frown, drop it into a glass of beer, car bomb, homie. That we all need a reprieve from being good people sometimes, homie. The might not make your problems go away, and you might actually get locked up, but at least you're not thinking about the things that were bothering you anymore, homie. A good hood rat friend is the stray onion ring in the greasy bag of French fries called life. They are the space cowboy, a sacred tribal dance in human form, a bullfrog named Jeremiah, a humdinger to tell, a 24/7 wishing well. Beyond the binaries of good and bad, playing music in the sun, your burdens deserve better friends, so go get you some. Because once you do, there's no going back. Every thief needs a joker, and if you don't know which one you are, check your pockets. Sometimes the things taste sweeter when they arrive unannounced, and I wasn't expecting something good. So don't expect me to come home tonight, because tonight I'm doing hood rat shit with all my homies.
Thank you, Paul. This is my second time being here after a long hiatus. Thank you. Wow, the crowd's so nice today. I was so big. I was nervous until you guys started sharing things. Yeah, no, this is new shit that I literally just rolled like literally 2 days ago. Super, just wet, dookie shit. You guys look at that. All right. The gap between life and me grew exponential. I was abused and used in ways that blinded me from my potential. I was told I was special, but at the same time denied the opportunity to be a rebel. Everyone had a path for me, but behind their guidance was a lot of vanity. And anytime I tried to explain my side, it ended in catastrophe, which led to me shutting down while everyone else was passing me. So now here I stand and I got something to say. I made sure my message stands with those who love to create. Because the bond of the pen and pad is a bond we can relate, and the energy it brings when we're together is one that elates. The thing is, I may not know who you are individually, yet it's easy to identify a bond. We use diction and cadence to surpass the limits of layman's, express our vivid derangements in order to lengthen our patience from a life without color that continues to drag. I had too much fun with that rhyme scheme, but that's part of why this shit is a blast. Because this is the only time I feel like I'm allowed to move as I please. Everywhere else I'm restricted in ways that give me the blues when I think. I'm still new to this scene, even if I've reigned for long. My growth was stunted by limits far too strong. Now, that's not a mistake I'm willing to repeat. With every line I evoke, I feel further away from the prison in me. How much time did I waste hearing everyone's bias and conjecture when I should have listened to me? Clearly, I'm projecting. I feel too much astonishment for my history. I'm reverse dissecting. I hope it leads me to recognizing what has me stressing. But I guess until then, this is my verbal diary that you're a guest in. Thank you, guys.
I don't know if you can call this thing between you and I divine. But whenever we are nearby, all the stars, sun and moon suddenly becomes aligned. As our bodies combine, become intertwined like syllables to a word and words to a line. Baby, you and I make poetry. I'm not speaking something short like haikus, bar after bar, stanza after stanza. We etch modern day Eliads into stone with the way our bodies move. It's epic. And that's the end of that one. It's a little, so I give it a one better. Yeah, some short shit, and some songs and shit, like, we ain't finished with it, we ain't finished. Alright, so now let's get some old shit, some real relevant shit, but still old shit at the same time. Yeah, right. Alright. Poetry for me, like many others, is expressive. And fuck am I tired of expressing. I wish I could hop on the mic and have something happy and witty to spit, and yet I'm always rediscovering and relapsing. Rediscovering and relapsing. Rediscovering and relapsing into the self-destructive sentences that we as poets etch on paper, hopes we do not forget. I've had to find myself so many times in life, you might as well liken me to the Roman aqueducts, the sewer systems, the plumbing, or anything else we as humans conveniently like to forget. How many wheels of oneself do I have to reinvent until I'm like, yeah, I'm cool with this? And once I find something that's truly innovative, I begin to lobby into the courts of need. Oh shit, I'm sorry. Let me go back. And once I find something that's truly innovative, I begin to lobby in the courts of need against it like the Koch brothers did railroads or pharmaceutical companies does cures. At what point, like highways that never finish, At what point, like highways that never finish construction, can I accept my work in progress and just never do it? Rediscovering and relapsing. Rediscovering and relapsing. I just want the ignorance of bliss.
This is my first night here. This is actually my second poetry night. So I want to share a little backstory about the poem that I'm going to be reading. So I was married for about 7 years. My spouse passed away last year. So this poem that I'm going to read is pretty much dedicated to my spouse. It's kind of like a rebirth for myself. And yeah, poetry has kind of been my thing ever since then. So
Salute to that! Yeah!
let's get into it. This poem is called 28. That's how old I am. So let's get into it. 28. 2 years shy of 30, and I mean, if we being honest, I ain't think the years before would do me that dirty, but shit panned out, I guess you can say. Rolling with the punches and faking my way. Ain't that what they say? Soul to soul, the inner chords can explode. Lifeline feeling a little foreclosed. Visions of current doors being closed because my chest aching. Cries mistaken for strength, but it's really feeling like I've been mentally beaten. My womanhood is peaking. I can feel it now. 28 is feeling like my season. It's like something to believe in. Like what my heart's been needing. After all, it's slightly bleeding, but I'm in it for the long haul, never leaving. 28 has shown me the meaning. Welcome to this chapter. It's a pleasure to meet you, so have a seat and come properly greet me.
Sometimes I.
Sorry.
Sometimes I doubt myself being the person that you desire to love, because every time I think about what's supposed to be right for me, that's when everything falls apart. So now I've diagnosed myself as empty. I'm weightless and invisible. But who am I if I didn't decide to love? Now this idea of being lonely, it's starting to scream silently at night as you stalk every dream that's beyond imagination. And as you tried your hardest not to manipulate the meaning of who I am, it kind of seemed that you were the right medicine. But you told me to step into your light and consume your energy. All this pain that you developed from pleasure should tell me your story. Now I understand that sobriety can be as heavy as earth itself, but why the fuck did you grind me like the weed you smoke? All this pleasure play of mind games. 50 shades of fuck me right now as you dress me in your pussy galaxy. It gets deeper as the moonlight passes while we're on the 37th floor of hell. As the sky, it starts to scream bloody murder. But every expression that you make, it tells me that you like it. And as we keep spinning, it's the perfect symphony. But when you flip the switch, the game is over. You told me to walk my ass in the other direction because you're a soul with no shadow. You told me you're a decapitated thinker on a radioactive frequency. And the only reason why I haven't killed you yet, Tyrone, is because I give you a reason to write. I would rather be alone, but having sex that's somewhere else outside of our bed is a caged midlife crisis. And it's starting to scream, free me. But why force this unbearable existence when your broken arrows can't seem to fucking fly and your fire still seems to burn even without oxygen as I give you what the fuck you want? I guess this is the world of a narcissist. You can try to hide it, but after those 6 shots of guilt, that clear glass in front of you is gonna still have your goddamn reflection. Thank you.
Classic.
Love you. Our last night was fueled by an alcoholic fire and your lipstick on empty cans and cigarette butts. I hadn't seen you in months. You talked about green and amber glass that night. You always liked how things looked when you held them to the light. It's happening again. I promised I wouldn't do this, but how can I stand so close to an open wound without trying to cover it? There was always a cold breeze coming from you. We got high off of laying brick walls around each other and trying to find the cracks where the light could shine through. I tried looking, but I could never find you. Loving you was sitting in a cold, dark room. It was on your doorstep where you decided to leave everything behind. Maybe it was the moon or the city lights, but I found you that night. You always liked how things looked when you held them to the light, and now I see why I saw you. You said you loved me. You said, why lose yourself in the streets of another city? Stay with me. There's a maze inside your brain, and I've always liked puzzles. It's a promise we can't keep, but I'm sick, and you're my therapy.
Yeah.
And I have one more short shit with some...
Short shit!
Please.
I spend so much time crying, pleading, waiting. I never learn how to receive. Place the gift in my hand, but I won't know how to open it. My hands will tremble and my stomach will drop, and I'll cry from the weight of what comes with getting what I asked for. Everything you cry into your pillow at night comes to life in the morning. Will you know what to do with it? Will your insatiable hunger just beg for more? Will you ever stop crying about something? Thank you.
Give me that red card.
No wet dreams or you'll be burning to the
Tonight,
ground.
y'all. That sounds good. That sounds sexy as fuck.
No wet dreams or you'll be burning in the lyrical hellfire, yo.
Lyrical hellfire. Y'all ready for 2? 2 shits. This is new to this mic shit. Recipe for Stoner Bruja's spiritual cleanse. Step 1. Light an incense to drive bad spirits out and ancestral healings in. Breathe in the smoke to raise your mind, body, and soul like a field being prepared to bear new fruit. Step 2. Give thanks to your ancestors, the earth and the universe for everything you have and have yet to be blessed with. Step 3. Adorn your altar with golden paletas de lote con chile, a peacock feather, and a glass of chilled horchata. Step 4. Get mind-bendingly mind altered by the drug of your choice until you feel everything, everywhere, all at once. Ecstasy exists in the divine. Step 5. Bathe or shower, depending on whether you want to soak in the goodness around you or wash away that which no longer serves you. Step 6. Dry and moisturize your skin so that it is supple to the miracle of life. Step 7. Nourish your body with comida that your abuelita or father or cualquier persona que te ama will be proud of. Step 8. Remember that you have everything you need. Thank you. I literally did that exact same routine before I got here. So I was like, wow, it's very fitting. I should read this one. Did the one, number 2, the high? Oh, that one. Here we go. Allegedly. This next one is an old shit. Do you think the moon is aware of her radiance? Or conscious of her power over the ocean tide? Do you think she knows that to us, She is the one living among the stars. No, I don't think she does. She doesn't hear our pleas, our prayers, our praises in the vacuum of space. She spent her life like a monarch butterfly sealed in a plexiglass prison, forever having our problems, our insecurities, our phases projected onto her. She is a tidal wave and cars towed at your expense. Right out there, if your car is parked there, please leave your car. She is heavy period flow and drunk text to your ex. She is lycanthropy and sign of the world's end. She is all these things to us, but none of those things to herself. She is deep obsidian reflecting diamonds, formed and shaped by cosmic serendipity. She is a sister, a daughter, an heir to the passage of time. She is a cool echo chamber, bathing others with her bountiful silence. In the vacuum of space, she is free of the intrusive thoughts of others and blissfully ignorant of their expectations. She is perfect to herself in every possible way, yet, as impossible as it might sound, science has proven that the objects of matter, such as the moon, are changed by our gaze. There is a measurable difference to how something acts when it's under scrutiny than when it's left free to exist. Molecules are hyper-vigilant, hyper-conscious of the countless eyes spectating their existence, so she remains tethered, held down by eyes she cannot see, she cannot feel, and words she cannot hear. One day, she will be free to exist for herself.
To hope it gets better than this. To look upon all the good fortune I have been granted and know that I am not done receiving good things. Is it naive of me to conceive that there is more than just this life? Presently, I am debunking the many myths of maturation, learning the true demands of development, the requirements of the chrysalis. In kindergarten, it was a simple process. Caterpillar, cocoon, butterfly, a manageable type of magic. But now that I am older, I know of the disintegration of the body, of the melting of flesh, of the reforming of refuse into wings, of the cracking like an egg, of the breaking out. This is nowhere near the storied metamorphosis, no glass slippers, no 3 wishes. This is like holding fanciful childhood fairy tales up to their grim counterparts. It's like, do I really want to fly if this is what I have to go through to get wings? It is a back-breaking sacrifice. It is a masterpiece at the expense of the soul. It is having to discard the only part of myself I have ever known. It doesn't feel like shedding a weight. It feels like ripping my skin off, this rebirth. It feels like scraping away and discarding what has protected me for all of these years, and now all I feel now is raw. When I was a child, what I learned about was a beautiful evolution. Elegant, effortless. But this doesn't feel like a transformation. It feels like breaking down, like dissolving, and it's taking all of me not to give in to the pain of it. Is it too late to give up now? Is it too late to trade this mutation in for my old life? It's not euphoric anymore. It's not just pretty thoughts, it hurts. And I wish I were better, braver than I am, excitedly jumping into this talk outline, knowing it won't be the end of it all, but there is no grandiose music playing in the background here. There are no singing birds, not even screaming. I can't even hear my own screaming, just silence. While the rest of the world waits to blossom, I am breaking down. At 5, I was in awe of the butterfly, astounded by its beauty, completely forgot about the caterpillar, about the thing that gave its life for this. And right now, I am the thing that gets forgotten, and I wonder if I will be granted the memory of this life in the next, or if evolution will erase the days I have spent in this body. This body has been so good to me, but this body is not going to make it much further like this. I don't have it in me to drag myself through the dirt anymore. There aren't many options left, and rebirth requires the death of this body. This body deserves to bloom into its best self, no matter how much it hurts. No matter how much it hurts. No matter how much it hurts, is it selfish of me to hope it gets better than this? So fun fucking fact, Texas's ban on abortion does not include exceptions for cases of rape and or incest, DNCs after miscarriages, or multiple fertilized eggs after IVF.
Girl, that's too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. You'd be like heaven to touch. I wanna hold you so much.
It's Thursday night and I am hand washing the blood out of my underwear once more, scrubbing stains out of garments no one but me will see, but I'll swear they can smell it on me. The metallic musk of life not brought forth once more. I am crying over this ceramic mass grave and stuck forever with this insatiable craving. It's Friday, and I gotta figure out how to frame this conversation in a way that doesn't make the picture it's around unwanted. Have to somehow spell family with this hollow pit of a heart and red ink bleeding out of me. I was taught that to be woman is to be both water and water bearer. To be fluid and full of life, to be both creature and sea. Oh woman, what a catch at 22 to somehow manage to exist outside of the permission of others, whatever relation it is. What exodus, blood be the plague we live with our whole lives, red-handed with the sin of existing. It is October, and I am $22,000 deep in hospital debt, paying my monthly dues in blood and bills. Y'all, to walk this earth in this body is to bleed out everything I have, but oh, to be woman. To be a constant question of capacity, like how do we love so much, or how do we still have room in our bodies for all the worlds we hold within us, how we walk with the weight of waters deeper than oceans, how we are bathed crimson in thanks, how 1 month at a time we bleed out every life that could have been, but we decided not yet, how we be goddesses always, how we be big with the power to choose. And I chose this. It is Wednesday morning, and I am craving a bacon burger, steak, kale, carrots, lima beans, and green jello. This is my body trying to replenish, filling up on all the things I have been drained of in this life, and now I am elbow deep in the staff fridge at work trying to eat my way out of agony, and I have to bite back bullets as my coworker jokingly asks if I'm pregnant. It's 2:15 and I'm crying in the bathroom, trying to remind myself that he doesn't know, that his half-big joke is my only wish right now, doesn't know my mother warned me of this at 13, or that I have been bleeding for 3 weeks. I close my eyes and breathe, and it seems like I spend weeks like this. It's 3 months marching along in a bloody blur. It's more ER visits than I can count. It's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 2 years later, and it took me 3 hours just to get out of bed this morning, and just like that, once more, I am pricing adoption agencies behind my husband back, and contemplating canceling our vacation so we can afford to freeze a few eggs, and deconstructing lifelong dreams, wondering how far I will let this run me down until I finally call it quits. It's Thursday night, and I am once more washing the blood out of my underwear, watching the world be watered down and rinsed away once more. Once more. Oh, that's too good to be true.
Thanks so much. I'm really excited for this. Let's get into it. So, how do you explain a sneeze to someone who's never had one? Well, it's like when your nose smells some shit, doesn't know how to handle it, so it retaliates. Or you ever get an itch in a weird place you couldn't reach? The more you try to ignore it, the more it itches, so you start to convulse and shake in weird ways until it's satisfied. Dictionary says a sneeze is when you make an involuntary explosion of air through the nose and mouth due to irritation of one's nostrils. But if you've never sneezed before, that doesn't quite capture the unique feeling of the almost painful need to get this shit out of your face. I once sneezed on a stranger, and the look of horror she gave me still haunts me to this day, and like it wasn't even my fault. I turned to the side to sneeze like a decent human being, and she just happened to speed walk into it. I think we don't have a great way to explain a sneeze, because everyone has already experienced it by the time you know the word for it. How do you explain racism to someone who hasn't experienced it? Well, it's like when someone looks at you, presumes to know your story without ever once saying a word to you, or looking at you, or listening to you. It's like when someone gets an itch in the back of their mind that the skin you're wearing is so 2014, or 1968, or 1861 is worth a retweet but not equality. They're still upset about the whole slavery thing, and the only way to alleviate the itch is to call you boy, or thug, or target. Or to pretend your struggle to survive doesn't exist. And so to help those who haven't experienced it understand just how common this still is, for the duration of this poem, I will replace the word racism with the word sneeze. I was 15 when I experienced sneezing for the first time. I was meeting my girlfriend's parents, and her father looked me in my eyes and said, "I don't want you dating my daughter." He tried to blame it on other people's sneezing, that he was just looking out for our safety, but that's the thing about sneezing. Once you see it, you can always tell when someone's trying hard to hold it in. I used to believe that sneezing, which is a thing we read about in textbooks, can never happen nowadays. So it was a little jarring when someone sneezed in my face. No blessing or apology, just a shrug that said, I shouldn't be so charged-seated, so pitch-black pollen, so dark brown dust. Since that day, I've watched people sneeze openly and behind closed lips, and I can assure you, no one looks appealing when they're sneezing. Looks honorable with both eyes closed, and we seem to make it respectable to sneeze behind the same hands that shake our own, assuring us there's no sneezing problem. Like for people of color, it is an allergy season all year round, like this country can just Benadryl its way to equality, as if we weren't the ones struggling to keep breathing, drowsy after being prescribed Twitter apologies. And isn't it funny how every sneeze can sound unique, but we also know when it's happening? Like we've been speaking sneeze our whole lives, reading it in nationalist napkins or far-right shirt sleeves, saying sneezing is just a part of our history. Chuckling at all the funny ways people trying to stop it from happening, telling us their Civil War monuments aren't about sneezing. That would be silly. No, the monuments embody a cure. Getting rid of all the irritants is the best way to stop all this sneezing, wouldn't it? And in response, we all close our eyes, open our Instagram feeds, posting a black box to show just how angry you are at all this sneezing, and the world keeps turning. Like this is all just ordinary. Like it was as natural as